And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the deck. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Anthony Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do?
We get the people what they want.
So much on the show today. A full Sunday of NFL. Great night game, great afternoon game between the Packers and the Rams. A lot of NBA topics. Ty Lue got fired. He's not hired. You ever think about when you're out of here?
That's just mean.
And in the background, you can hear the sounds of Fergie Ferg. I was in the Garden last night. No, Friday night. To watch the Warriors beat the Knicks. Closer game than it looked like, though.
Until the fourth.
It was close until the fourth quarter. It was a good experience being there, giving the home crowd something to cheer about.
Representing our fine program, thank you.
Besides Kevin Durant. I wanted the ovation when he got introduced to be bigger. So then after the game, they're happy, they're a win, they're in the visitors' locker room, getting iced. And they played this song. Turn it up a little bit, Reg. The remix of Fergie's anthem.
Shout to Sway, the remix guy who created this.
Yes.
Shout out.
And this is in response to Josh Duhamel saying that it was a little rude of Draymond to make that face. It was a little rude of him to make that face when Fergie was singing the national anthem.
That's her better half.
I think they're broke up now. I don't stay up with all of the
they broke up?
I think they're divorced. But good for him for riding for his ex.
No doubt.
Not everybody does that.
Nope.
I say you can be mean if you're funny. Where did you find this?
It was post game. They were getting ice on their knees. They were decompressing after a long night. Like, it's no harm, no foul.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, no harm.
I thought it was hilarious. And the best part is Josh Duhamel just took the L. You know what I mean? And he went on Twitter and was just like, oh, don't mess with the champs. Like, he said something like that. He was just like, oh, I took an L there.
Yeah, just let them cook.
Oh, it's so good. I think this song, it might chart. It really might. And Fergie just got a Black Eyed Peas album out now. This is good for Fergie.
What did you feel about her rendition of the national anthem when you first heard it?
That was excellent. You know what I mean? I always appreciate people taking new approaches. You know what I mean? She's innovative. She was innovative. Reggie loved it. Reggie still plays it in every one of our songs. That was big on Friday night. Being in the Garden, I really expected more Kevin Durant stuff going on. You know what I mean? Besides him taking over in the fourth quarter. I thought there would be more signs and more energy and more like, let's get KD to the Garden.
Like the Lakers did with Dwight Howard?
Didn't work out.
Billboards and sideshows. I think New York has one of the most sophisticated fan bases in sports. And I understand when LeBron came those few times, there was the propensity to woo him. I think they learned from that. Mm-hmm. And so you allow the process to play itself out and handle yourself with some esteem, handle yourself with some class, actually root for your team.
Yeah.
Because the players do pay attention to that.
They gave you something to root for.
And it was a good game through three quarters.
First world problems. Don't love the suite experience. I had a friend who works for a law firm, got us to the suite. It was I like to be amongst the people. I like to be in the crowd. You know, seeing the chants and being in the crowd.
I like both. Free
food is nice.
No, here's the difference.
You're famous though. You're a gigantic famous person.
Here's the clear distinction. It depends on how many people I'm with. If you're with one or two people, then obviously you can be in a seat, try to get your best seat, do it like that. Mm-hmm. But if you were like 5 or 6 people, it's best to be in a suite. You can enjoy one another.
It's nice to mingle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's mingling opportunity.
Yeah.
They also give you bottles of liquor and you can pour your own drinks. That's dangerous for me. I can't be trusted with that kind of responsibility.
Love
I can't be trusted with that kind of responsibility.
Love that.
I really can't. Fourth quarter, I don't remember every detail. But I do remember Kevin Durant for sure.
He went off. He was
Of course
killing.
he did. You know who I want to shout out? Nerlens Noel.
Shout out.
I tried to tell you. Deeper in the box score.
I just want to give him a shout. He got his first start, 20 points, a 9 for 14, 15 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block.
Let me go back to something I said on this fine program. I said it on Get Up too.
Okay.
He's going to be a productive player for them. The Mavs tried to give him a $70 million contract. He didn't sign the contract, so they basically benched him and buried him. That's what happened.
Of course.
And so now he's landed in OKC where up front they have all of these long angular players like Grant.
Yeah,
exactly. And so now he's going to be able to catch lobs. He's going to be a finisher around the hoop. He's a lefty. He's going to block shots. He's going to get steals. Like, I like his game. He's going to be really good for them.
Let's keep people doing one.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth. Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball, pineapple?
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Jalen Rose, the most hyped weekend of NFL Sunday, lived up to it. I was kicking my kids out of the bedroom all afternoon, keeping an eye on this game. It was fun. It was back and forth. Gurley out of the backfield, scoring a touchdown. It felt like the Packers were always catching up, but they eventually did catch up and take the lead on this pass from Rodgers. They have a 1-point lead. The Rams come down, kick this field goal. The Rams have a 2-point lead. Look at the clock. 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. Ty Montgomery takes the ball. He made 3 mistakes on this play. First, taking the ball in the end zone in the first place. Just ridiculous. Second, fumbling the ball. And third, robbing the world of an Aaron Rodgers 2-minute drill trying to get a field goal. I wanted that to happen so bad. Every single person watching that game was so excited for Aaron Rodgers to have the opportunity with 1 timeout, the 2-minute warning, to get not even that far down the field just to give Crosby a chance to kick a field goal. Were you as disappointed as I was when Ty Montgomery did that?
Absolutely. And that's the theater that we were looking for with these two teams being matched up. The Rams clearly are undefeated. I think them and the Saints have distinguished themselves as the best teams in the NFC. But when you have Aaron Rodgers, you say maybe they have a puncher's chance.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times, I think as fans, we underestimate the talent that's on Green Bay's roster. So many times we say Aaron Rodgers doesn't have help. Jones is a good young
Yes,
back.
he is.
They should just feature him. That's all they have.
They had like 17 people carry the ball for them yesterday.
Yes, that's all they have to do. Adams is a really good player. Cobb is getting older. He still can play. Montgomery, even though he fumbled, is a terrific player. So, Clinton Dix has been one of the best safeties in the entire league so far this year. So, I was looking forward to seeing if Aaron Rodgers could lead his team on a game-winning drive type of thing. But that's why there are 3 phases to the game. And the Rams did trust theirs. Because how many people were watching the game and watching the clock, watching the game and watching the clock? Are they about to get a ball back to Aaron Rodgers?
I know, with 2 minutes and 5 seconds, I'm thinking, all right, they got 1 timeout, but all they have those 5 seconds, so it's basically another timeout. He can throw to the middle of the field twice. Oh, it was just so disappointing that he did that.
But also, here's what makes the blunder even worse. First and foremost, caught it in the end zone. It was 2:05. You take a knee.
I know.
Y'all can run a play and then a 2-minute warning.
So that's like 1 timeout. So you can throw to the middle of the field or whatever. It costs you no time.
That's number 1. Number 2, running it out. He didn't get as far as he would have gotten had he taken a knee.
Yes, and if you're going to run it out, how about you just tuck the ball a little closer to your body?
And lastly, you know the coach told him not to run it out.
Yes.
When you do, because it happens as a player, coach draw up a play, you may not run it to the tee, but you got to execute and you got to finish. Can't drop the football on the ground.
And you know what? The coach might not have told him for a couple reasons. 1, it's Mike McCarthy. 2, because it's such a veteran player. It's like, obviously, Like, obviously. You know, this isn't like a rookie making a rookie mistake.
No. I guarantee you, somebody in that organization, when they get back to practice on Tuesday, is going to sit at a podium and distinctly let the world know that we told him to keep it in the end zone. And then he's going to have to explain why he took it out.
What he saw. I mean, I wouldn't even try to explain.
Why?
You can ask me the question, but I'm not giving you an explanation.
Broken news, I'm giving it to you right now.
Well, you mentioned the Saints being the second best team in the NFC. They certainly looked like the class of the NFC as they played the Vikings. It wasn't as close as the final score would indicate. It went back and forth. You had Cousins and Thielen. Thielen fumbled the ball early to give the Saints the ball. There's a couple big turnovers from the Saints on this one. We had the pick six when they were trying to come back. Kamara jumping over the pile to put that in. I think Kamara looked so good yesterday, Jalen. And then there's this. Cousins trying to make something happen, down by one score in the third quarter, put himself down by 14. Now, here's my question for you. You mentioned the Rams and the Saints being the best two teams in the NFC. Well, guess who plays each other next week? The Rams and the Saints. That is going to be a game in New Orleans. I'm going to say now, Saints win the game.
What?
Didn't expect this question.
I'm rolling with the Saints at home.
I think so too.
Because you're playing in that dome, it's going to be a track meet, literally. But, man, Aaron Donald is so very good. Yeah. And it was great to see Ndamukong Suh be productive. And so, like, those are the teams. But for the Vikings, I got to make sure I stress this. Kirk Cousins isn't their problem.
No.
Because the last time I checked, you know who the best wide receiver duo in the league is? Thielen and Diggs.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people are going to be like, let me scrambling right now.
You can find a better receiver than each of them, but you cannot find a better duo. I think that's fair.
Yep. Hopkins doesn't have the person next to him. Julio, maybe Sanu, maybe really, Odell doesn't have the person next to him. So that's legitimate on the offensive side. I think Dalvin Cook is going to help a lot, but they have to fix their defense. They got Griffin back, who's the captain of their defense, who's dealt with some personal issues. But that side of the football has to step up for Minnesota if they're going to win the division, which I think they still will.
Quick question, Jalen. Where are my homies?
Where they at?
Where are my homies?
Creeping through the hood.
Here's what's happening with Patrick Mahomes. He makes just incredible performances. Over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. They're pedestrian now. We almost expect them. And this is against the Broncos, who don't have the defense they used to have, but they have, I had to look it up, I did some research. They have the 11th best defense against the pass, Jalen. And just look what he does. Like, he's just doing this over and over and over. He is now in some rare air when it comes to stats. He's like, through the first 8 games, no one has performed as he has. Not just like, someone in their first, second season starting, whatever. It's only players like Breeze and Manning and Brady. Manning has done it twice. Brady's done it once that have put up these numbers. He's putting himself in the same class as Hall of Famers. And this is not the 3-game sample size. This is a half of a season now.
When I talk about the Chiefs, I got to make sure I start with the evil genius, respectfully, Andy Reid. Because talking about a guy that's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers, look at the offensive weapons that they have. Okay, Kareem Hunt, you just saw him leap over a guy and score a touchdown.
He jumped over.
He led the league in rushing last year. They signed Sammy Watkins. And soon as Sammy Watkins got his deal, everybody was like, they should pay Odell. Look at how much money they gave Sammy Watkins. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday. Kelsey's still the best tight end in football. Tyreek Hill, still explosive as they get in the game. So for him to be able to amass this level of talent all at once, peak prime years, is truly impressive for a defense that's going to continue to get better. It's fascinating to watch Mahomes mature as a run threat option. Also somebody that has a big arm that can make all of the throws. Like, they're must-see TV.
It's crazy that he can just put up over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns and us not talk about it until we're like 25 minutes into the show. Like, it's just like, it's not even that big a deal anymore. And he's basically a rookie. Like, he started 1 game last year.
The list of people that have had the number of touchdowns that he has at this point of the season, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
I think that's it.
Guess what they went on to do? win MVP. How about that?
Patrick Mahomes is my MVP right now.
Year starting, Andy Reid selected a guy that is likely on pace to win MVP his first season under center, and that's letting Alex Smith go.
I know.
A quality starting quarterback.
And the Chiefs weren't bad last year. Like, they didn't need to make changes. This is such an amazing season for the Chiefs. It's going to be very, very interesting to see them play the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. I cannot wait. The Bengals beating the Buccaneers. But let's be honest, this game is not about the Bengals.
No.
This game is about Ryan Fitz magic. Jameis Winston throws, 4 interceptions or something? Fitzmagic comes in the game. Look at that. Oh, look, Mike Evans, wide open. Then the Bengals have this opportunity. Fitzmagic is trying to blow the field goal. He's trying to do everything. Bengals end up winning the game 37-34, but Jalen Rose, what do you think about the quarterback controversy in South Florida?
This is a perfect example of why you don't want the coach to be the general manager, which does not take place in this case. Here's why. Because they have two different interests. The interest of the general manager is going to be to look out for the long-term viability of the team, which means if we took Jameis Winston, number 1 overall, we want to have him out there. But the coach is trying to win today.
Yep.
You call one guy by his government name. You call another guy by a nickname.
Fitzmagic.
So that lets you know who's been playing better and who should be out there. This is going to be a mess going forward. I hope Deshaun Jackson gets traded to Houston.
You know, remember when we said that we watch every game on Sunday? I'm not watching this one. Too early in the morning. In London, we had the Eagles beating the Jaguars. What did you take away from this one?
I was watching this game really early, and the thing I took away from it is Leonard Fournette is sorely missed. 18 yards rushing for the Jaguars. Okay, and how are you going to have 4 players
Talk
get
to me
into
about
an
that.
issue
Over the bill?
Friday night.
Y'all left the club without paying the bill?
In London.
I want to hear the explanation for this one.
I'm hearing it's around 45,000 American bucks.
Whoa! Champagne and campaigning gone wrong. There was definitely some ladies ordering stuff at their table. There's definitely some ladies ordering stuff at their table.
So you will be seeing
That's
those guys get disciplined over the next day or two by the team.
I can talk about that for another 10 minutes, but we got to move on.
I'm just happy Jalen Ramsey got an interception.
You're just happy Jalen stayed out of trouble. Usually the Jalen's the one getting in trouble. The Panthers beat up on the Ravens. An impressive camp performance.
The biggest takeaway from this is the Ravens were on a historical pace as it related to sacking other teams' quarterbacks. Cam Newton didn't get sacked at all. What? Now just think about that for a second. He plays in the pocket, runs a lot, he scrambles a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
He extends plays, puts himself in a position to get sacked.
And shout to Norv Turner, who's helps Cam's decision-making and his accuracy, dumping it down to McCaffrey. They're playing good football.
Next, the Steelers beat up on the Browns. Jalen Rose, what do you think?
My takeaway from this, besides the fact Antonio Brown had 2 touchdowns, is that the clock is ticking for Hugh in Cleveland, but I'm not sure if they're willing to pay a head coach. That's always some people say change the coach. Are they willing to invest in one?
Sure.
That's one. Number 2, while of course you welcome Le'Veon Bell to come back.
Talk to me about James Conner.
This is his job.
James Conner looks good.
And so the thing is, you know he's going to be there next year. So when Le'Veon, and if he does return, you're not going to give him 100% of the carries, even when he does return.
This one's not going to make you happy. If you had a sound that represents how the Lions played against the Seahawks, what would that sound be?
Yeah.
What would it be again? And then we had this play from my guy, Dixon. They were trying to run out of the end zone and take the safety, Jalen. They weren't even trying to gain yards. That's what these Lions defense is doing. Look at him. He's like, I guess I'll just run the ball. Why not? And he got the first down. That is just representative of the Lions' performance on this day. Say it. Say it.
Meow.
The Lions don't look that good, Jalen.
Russell Wilson did.
It was all good just a couple weeks ago when they beat the Patriots, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I know.
Seahawks have a running game now in Carson.
Moving on. In a battle of the weak NFC East, the Redskins, the class of the division, beat up on the Giants. What'd you think about the Redskins? Are they legitimate?
Ioannidis, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm going to give him props. He had 2.5 sacks. He's playing really well. Not mad at that. Shout to Alex Smith, who continues to find ways to win.
And Adrian Peterson.
Never give him love.
Adrian Peterson, 149 yards, outrunning people.
Swearinger had 2 picks.
Yup.
And shout to All Day, like you just said. At this point of his career, none of us can say that we felt like he had as much left as he does. And Jay Gruden did a really good job of not only using him as a runner, but as a receiver. He only caught his 6th, count them, touchdown pass of his career. How about that for a guy that's going to the Hall of Fame?
In a game that I didn't pay too much attention to, the Colts beat the Raiders.
You know what stood out to me in this game? The Colts, like the Seahawks, have a franchise quarterback, have been searching for a running game. They had one yesterday in Mac. Quarterback's best friend.
Yep, fantasy owners saw Mac's performance.
And also, they did a good job of solidifying their offensive line to protect Andrew Luck, who had 3 touchdown passes.
Which is something the Cowboys should be doing, to be honest with you.
And Mac had 2
something
TDs.
The Giants should be doing. Moving
Correct.
on. The Bears beat up on the Jets, but all that matters is this. Mitchell Trubisky showed up at the game dressed as Mike Ditka. If I was the Jets, I would just go home. When I saw that, I would just go home. I'd be like, oh, he got the sweater vest and the sunglasses? Oh, we're going home. We're just back the plane. We're going home. There's no way we're going to win against Mike Trubisky dressed up as Mike Ditka.
It was a fun look. They were playing without Khalil Mack. It just shows how far the Jets need to grow as a football team.
Yeah.
Yes, they found a quarterback in Dalton, but a lot of their Darnold, but a lot of weaknesses were exposed and continue to be week after week by that football team.
And finally, the Cardinals played the 49ers in a very sad game that featured some great plays by Larry Fitzgerald, though.
Yes. And you know where I'm going with this, because I talked about both of these guys. I was watching the game and I was like, I feel bad for Fitz.
I do too.
And I feel bad for Sherm. Those are my 2 guys. But I was happy to see Fitz go over 100, catch a TD.
Go over defenders too.
Sherman not only has 7 tackles, but he had a sack too. I wasn't mad at that at all.
Fitzgerald he's just so good. I want him to play next year. I want him to play forever.
I wish those guys were on contending teams.
I don't see it happening.
Nope.
Upstart has revolutionized how we borrow money by going beyond the traditional FICO score to offer personal loans. Taking into account factors like job experience and education when determining your interest rate. Here's what it is. It's quick and easy. Checking your Upstart rate is free and has no effect on your credit score. Again, no effect on your credit score. You can check your Upstart rate in just 2 minutes and find out if you're approved. Here's the thing. A lot of people have debt. Some people have a little. Some of us, more majorities have some, and some people have a lot. But the path to financial freedom can look awfully bleak if you have a high interest debt. Use Upstart. They offer you personal loans, but they're not like the ones that your bank or credit union provides. That's because Upstart goes beyond traditional FICO score when assessing your credit worthiness. Yep, they actually reward you based on your education and your job history, not just a score. Over 100,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, fund their wedding, or simply make a large purchase. Now it is your turn. Hurry to upstart.com/Jacoby and find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate takes only 2 minutes and it will not affect your credit. That's upstart.com/Jacoby. Get that loan that you need. Jalen Rose. One of these things that we just take for granted in sports. But there has been something happening with the Warriors this season that we must discuss, and it is the absolute dominance of Steph Curry and KD. What they are doing is just unfathomable. On Friday night, it was Kevin Durant taking over against the Knicks. And then on Sunday, there was this. Just Durant and Steph scoring and scoring and scoring. Steph has had like 5 threes in 400 straight games. It's just incredible what they are doing together. Steph Curry is averaging 33.9 points a game. Kevin Durant is averaging 30.3 points a game. Is this going to continue with these two?
I think it's going to continue pretty much. I talked about the fact that Steph was going to have the league on notice this year. 3rd year playing with KD. They won a couple of championships. He's dealt with injuries a couple of times in the past. Mm-hmm. And he remembers the year that he was the unanimous MVP. And he understands that in order for them to not only continue to reach their goals, but for him to continue to have a level of excellence in the game, is he wants to get back to playing at that level.
Yeah.
While KD's on the roster. Now, this was a unique marriage because it was the first time 2 MVPs were on the same team at the same time, and they both were under 30.
Yeah.
And so it took a little time to figure out, and you try to defer and make them feel comfortable and things like that. But as they continue to add to the starting lineup, it deteriorated the bench. So they're going to need that productivity. Clay is still shooting and playing well also.
Clay's not shooting that well right now from three.
But here's the thing I want to make sure I stress. What makes this work is both of these guys, usually your best player needs the ball. They don't need the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Let me repeat that. They don't need the ball. They both can come off screens. They both can initiate the offense. They can start on the strong side. They can start on the weak side. They can start at the top of the floor. They can start on the side of the floor. And so now it just unlocks their entire game for two efficient guys that's going to flirt with the more important stat. 50 from the floor, 40 from three, 90 from the line. These dudes are snipers.
And one thing about this duo, which is different, is like Chris Paul and Harden. Oh, there's only one basketball. Dwayne Wade and LeBron, there's only one basketball. How are they going to make this work? It's going to be hard to make this work. We're going to take turns. One time it's your night, then times it's our night. It's not like that with this duo. Like the way that the Warriors played, the fact that you made a great point that they don't need the ball, the way that this team shares the ball and Steve Kerr's the maestro of it all. Like you do not hear about any of this. Oh, there's only one ball. Or tonight it's going to be Clay's, Steph's night. And tomorrow it's going to be KD's night. Like they have a harmonious thing that's going on. They seem to just like make each other play better the more one of them plays better.
One of the engines to that has to get acknowledged is Draymond Green. If you notice, a lot of shots that take place, in particular when Steph relocates. So they may throw it to Draymond. He may get an offensive rebound, may do a dribble handoff action. Mm-hmm. The defense clearly hasn't figured out that he's not going to shoot the ball, especially if he has a chance to give it to Steph.
Yep.
Steph just relocates, kicks it to him in the corner, and boom, he knocks it down. So him being a Swiss Army knife, Clay still locking down on defense, allows everybody to still fall into their roles and function at optimal precision, because it's great to watch.
Steve Kerr does a great job of managing their minutes and sort of like keeping one of them on the floor and doing all that. They're doing a great job. On the other side of that, the Washington Wizards are quietly imploding. Like usually this happens later in the season or in the playoffs, but it is bad right now for the Wizards. They are 1-5. And last night against the Clippers, it was late at night if you're on the East Coast. They lost by 28 points to the Clippers. And it did not look good at all for the Wizards. Jalen Rose, what is happening to the Wizards?
Let me just say something real quick about the Clippers. They're better than people think. They got a lot of seasoned vets that's going to show up and play hard. Lou Will, Tobias Harris, Harrell, like they got a Beverly, like just a bunch of grizzled vets, Gallinari, and they have a great coach. So I'm not really surprised that they actually beat the Wizards on their home floor in LA, on the West Coast trip. Just a lifestyle things comes with that as well. But for the Wizards, their main offseason acquisition, Dwight Howard, isn't playing.
But they're not Dwight Howard away from being a good team.
They are.
No, they are not. Dwight Howard is not going to come in and save this basketball team.
I didn't say he would save them, but what I'm saying is he helps solidify their lineup for me. One of the glaring things you have to point out is, and you can't judge players nowadays based on their salary, but in salary cap sports like the NBA, NFL, when you dedicate resources to one player, that means you're taking them away from another asset you can provide. And they gave Otto Porter a big contract.
Yes.
And so they needed him to play at an all-star level. And that's not happening.
What happened with Otto Porter is their coach, Scott Brooks, is literally using his name saying Otto needs to play better. And you don't see that a lot in the NBA. What does that say to you that the coach is calling him out by name?
It's true. And it goes back to exactly what I just said. We have an all-star level backcourt who has to play better. Let me say that about both of those guys, because we showed Golden State and Steph Curry shooting them down too.
Yep.
And so, first and foremost, the leadership and the best players have to show up in John Wall and Bradley Beal. Next, you're looking down the roster like, okay, who can we rely on? Oubre's going to play hard, but he hasn't got the big deal. Otto Porter is somebody they invested in. And so when you pay him in today's game, you need him to go up against Kawhi, KD, LeBron.
Who?
Like you're giving him
what?
That level of contract. He got $100 million.
I believe he had 6 points in last night's game. I don't have the stats in front of me.
And so solidifying the lineup would have been to have Dwight Howard as the center, because now it's just like less minutes for Mahimi. It just sends you in a lot of different spots. And one of the things I want to make sure I point out, both of these teams look a lot different when the Morris twins play. well.
Oh, okay.
That's Boston and Washington.
Okay.
Distinctly different when both of those guys, because they're going to give you toughness and shot making when they're going.
And defense.
But when they are playing well, the Celtics and the Wizards seem to be operating the best.
I love the Morris twins.
Shout out.
The people of New England got what they wanted. The Boston Red Sox are World Series champions. Since we last did a show, they had an 18-inning game. They had a comeback game. And then yesterday, it was this thing. They got to Kershaw early in the first. And then, they got to him again.
They got to him.
And then the best pitcher in the game, they got to him again. J.D. Martinez with the third home run off of Kershaw. And then Pierce added another later in the game. Jalen Rose.
Yes, indeed.
This was a dominant World Series performance from the Red Sox, the best team in baseball. They just performed well. Chris Sale, their starter, finished the game. Usually, I like the pitcher to jump in the catcher's arms. It's usually not the other way around. They celebrated into the night. The people of Boston are probably still celebrating at this moment. Everything worked well. The manager made the right decisions, pitching, the relievers, the bullpen, the hitters. Everything worked well for the Red Sox. And I loved it because I'm a die-easy Red Sox fan. But, Jalen, I want to ask you about the other dugout. You've been to the finals and lost. The Dodgers have now been to the World Series 2 years in a row and lost. Is it going to take some time and then they consider this a success? Or is it going twice in a row and losing like almost worse than going once and losing?
You know how I like to gauge success off of realistic expectations. Mm-hmm. And for the Dodgers, they continue to go all in for a team that's not only trying to make it to the World Series, but to actually capture one. And based on their goals, they came up short. So in theory, this would not be considered a success for what they hope to get accomplished. Now, of course, it definitely means something to make it to the World Series. And you brought up my playing background as an example. When we went as freshmen to the national championship game, that was considered a success.
Of course.
Nobody saw it coming. We were a 6th seed. We started 5 freshmen. Everything was new. When we come back as sophomores and we ranked in the top 5, and then we get to the championship and lose, that's a failure. And base it also on who you lose to. Our freshman year, we lost to one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yep.
They had just beaten Vegas. Some guys I idolized the year before. Carolina, we had just beat them during Christmas. Mm-hmm. We got to find a way to get it done. So for the Dodgers, they're going to now go back to the drawing board with 2 major decisions. One, do you bring back the manager, who's gotten a lot of criticism? Or 2, they got to wait and see what's going to happen with Kershaw.
Well, I believe they've already supported Roberts. It's like already. They're like, we're good. And Kershaw can opt out in the next 3 days. So it's kind of on him. But something tells me that he will opt in. And one of the things about this that was so nice is like you mentioned, the Red Sox had the best record in the major league. So it's not a surprise they won the World Series, even though it doesn't always work out that way. But there's a sense of relief. And no one was more relieved than Red Sox starter David Price, who was so publicly 0-10. The media just kept telling that number, 0-10 the postseason. 0-10 his last postseason. He didn't have postseason success lately when he had it early in his career. And the relief in the sound of this man's voice. I love this sound right here. Let's listen to David Price after the game.
I hold all the cards now, and that feels so good. So that feels so good. I can't tell you how good it feels to hold that trump card. You guys have had it for a long time. You've played that card extremely well, but you don't have it anymore. None of you do, and that feels really good. This is a game we get to play. You know, it's the relationships that you make, you know, while you do this, while you play this game that, dang it. That's what makes this game so special.
2 things. You know, I'm a Die Easy fan. I'm also a cry easy man. So, I love to see tears. I love to see a man get emotional. But what does he mean? He's like, I hold all the cards now. I hold all the cards. He's talking like to the media about the media. Like, take us behind the curtain on what he's thinking.
I like that you alluded to when you said postseason success. You accidentally said not having postseason sex, which may
I'm sure he will. That probably does
not
happen. That probably will happen.
I appreciate him articulating that point because so many athletes act like they ignore the noise. Mm-hmm. That's false. Okay? You understand what's being said around you because you're living it 24/7, 365. Whether it's on social media, whether it's television outlets, whether it's true and or whether it's false. And it burns when it's true. Can't lie. 0-10.
The numbers are the
spoke
numbers.
for itself. Now, here's what I want people to understand, though. This is what separates those to actually get a chance to play in the big leagues, get a chance to play in the NFL, get a chance to play in the NBA, is that other than your talent and your hard work and your ability, is your opportunity to persevere when turbulence happens. So many times individuals crumble. He didn't at the biggest moment. Now, you had to believe in yourself. You had to have a team believe in you. And then you have to get to the point where you can actually persevere. And he did it a couple of games throughout this playoff run. And for him to be that guy that was out there on the mound during a time where they were going to be able to close out the World Series had to be ultimately gratifying.
Pierce got the MVP. I would have definitely given it to David Price, but that's because, I'm emotional, but that's just me. Moving on for some great news to Red Sox fans. Some bad news for Ty Lue. Over the weekend, Ty Lue was relieved of his duties as head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. They went to the finals. How many years in a row?
4.
3, I want to say. No, 4, but 3 with Ty Lue. And Ty Lue started 0-6. Not a great start to the season for the Cavs, but expectations were pretty low considering they lost the best player in the game. Jalen Rose, do you think it was smart for them to relieve Ty Lue of his head coaching?
I'm just happy he got his bread already. And the reason why I made that distinction is there were periods throughout his coaching tenure when you're not only leading a team, but it has the best player in the game on it in LeBron James and an iconic figure. People always going to undermine your role. Mm-hmm. And when your team wins, they're going to give the credit to the best player. And when your team struggles, then they're going to put the blame on you. That was always a push and pull that he was going to have to deal with. So with LeBron gone, the biggest thing that people underestimate about him leaving is that they got nothing in return.
Yeah.
See, everybody keep forgetting the fact that you now lose LeBron James and they got zero compensation in return. So you give Kevin Love a max deal, but you're still stuck with a lot of contracts. J.R. Smith comes to mind. Tristan Thompson comes to mind. And you now need those guys to be NBA veterans and contributors, not just necessarily role players. And when that does not happen, somebody has to be a fall guy for a team that's 0-6. In theory, and I don't speak for Ty Lue, I think he did a really good job with that team. Yes. I think he deserves another opportunity. So from that sense, I actually feel like they did him a favor because now he has time to reassess the league and actually put himself in position to get another gig that I think he's going to deserve and do a really good job.
It is because if they're not going to keep him, right? If they're going to say, we're going to have Ty Lue this season and then we're going to get rid of him and get somebody new in the offseason, they actually did kind of do him a favor because he's getting his money, so he gets paid. He doesn't have to sort of like slog through this whole regular season with the underperforming Cavaliers and kind of fly all over the place and work this job that feels like a dead-end job.
And Dan Gilbert has shown he got money to burn when it comes to coaches because Mike Brown's probably still getting paid by them.
Yep.
They fired David Blatt after they made it to the finals, as you mentioned, and now T. Lue as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what direction they go in moving forward if Larry Drew doesn't keep the job full time.
Yeah, Larry Drew's like, wait, you want me to? He's like, wait, we got to negotiate something. He's been announced, but he hasn't he hasn't fully announced.
So you want me to sit in that chair with the same salary?
Yeah, and no extension or nothing. I don't know if that's great for me. I love the opportunity. Thank you so much, but I don't know if that's great for me.
But this is a perfect place for me to say this.
Say it.
I always, as a player, have to put some responsibility on the people that are out there wearing shorts and gym shoes that are competing every night. Mm-hmm. It's so easy for fans and media. You see it with the Dodgers and their critics going to point to the managerial decisions. Same here with Ty Lue. But at some point, when you look at the Dodgers roster, to me, they lost to a better team. But also, you want the guy to perform better. You need Clayton Kershaw to be a star.
Yep.
In the postseason.
You do.
You need Kevin Love to be an all-star. You need him to be a go-to guy.
Oh, number one option.
So the numbers that you're seeing from the best players in the East, that's what he's supposed to be giving them. And when he's not doing it, you start 0-6.
Of course. Well, there was some reaction from some current and former Cleveland Cavaliers on social. We start, as everything does, with LeBron James. T. Lou, thanks for the memories, and more importantly, our partnership bringing a championship to Cleveland. And J.R. Smith thanks him as well, and with the old palm on the face emoji. How do you think it feels if you're Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, to have Ty Lue gone from the locker room?
Well, it's two ways to look at it, because a couple of the guys that you just said are actually still playing. So if y'all want him to keep his job, ball.
Okay.
Don't IG me. Don't tweet me.
To score for me.
Yeah. Get a stop.
Yep.
That's how you can show me love.
Well, Kevin Love sidelined for a month, we just found out, with an injury. Moving on to news that matters. Jalen Rose. This is very important news. And this goes back over a decade. 50 Cent and Ja Rule, always going back and forth. Been going back and forth forever. 50 Cent reacting to some news that Ja Rule recently had to cancel a concert in Syracuse. 50 Cent said he bought 200, quote, front row tickets to a concert in Arlington, Texas, so he could leave them empty, and then posted this on social media, just him by himself in the front row of a concert, supposedly 50 Cent. That's photoshopped. But here's the thing, Jalen Rose. We launched the Jalen and Jacoby investigation. He says he bought them on Groupon. You can only buy 2 tickets at a time on Groupon. He said he brought front row tickets. It's a standing room only event. Do you think he bought 100 pairs of tickets in the front row to a standing room only event? Or do you think he's just trolling?
I think this beef, because this qualifies, that has gone on, as you mentioned, for over a decade, is so far and so personal that I wouldn't be surprised if he did a little bit of both. If he couldn't do something to sabotage Ja Rule, and the other way around, they both have been doing it consistently. This is a funny one.
I wouldn't put it past 50 Cent to just get some of the details wrong or maybe exaggerate a little bit, but I really do think that he gave his credit card information to somebody, not himself, and said, buy up a bunch of these tickets.
No doubt. And that's one of the things that, like, if you're going to nudge an artist, is have them standing on a stage and looking into a crowd of empty seats.
We've all been to those shows. We've all seen those shows. We're like, that can't be fun. You know, like we all imagine these sold out arenas, but you know, those shows where like they're actually waiting for the headliner and you're there and the crowd's not really there. They're shuffling in. They don't know your songs. They're not paying attention. They're on their phones. That was my entire stand-up career. Moving on. A gentleman was on his way to a football game celebrating the Carolina Panthers. And this is what he decided to bring in a backpack. He's got about 7 pieces of fried chicken in a backpack. Jalen Rose, soft move or boss move, BYOC.
Is this a serious question?
Yeah.
Boss move.
I mean, I have a lot of questions. Like,
how many times have you seen me transport chicken?
I see you are known for transporting chicken, even across state lines. You transported chicken, lemon pepper wings to be perfect. But like, he must really believe in his own chicken. Like, he must really be like, only my chicken is the only acceptable chicken.
Not only that, but your option is something that's overpriced and you don't like.
It's not even hot though.
But here's the soft move.
It's not even hot though.
Here's the soft move.
You gotta have some hot sauce in that bag.
Soft move, see-through backpack.
Well, maybe that's he just wants to get in. I don't know what that is. If I can see through the backpack, I want to see some hot sauce. Something that's been coming for a long time has finally happened. Hugh Jackson is no longer the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. What does that tell you about the organization?
I referred to this earlier. It's going to be interesting to see if they are going to dedicate the necessary resources that it actually takes to get a quality coach. One of the things that I think gets underestimated about their situation is not only have they been a bad football team based on the product you've seen on the field, I don't know that they're necessarily willing to invest in a head coach to turn the situation around.
Well, we'll find out soon. Head coach who definitely still has their job, Oklahoma State University coach Mike Gundy. He has provided us with some legendary sound from the podium. And the sound he made on the podium
I'm a man.
yesterday
I'm 40.
is even better when he was asked about social media.
Got the mullet?
Criticism where? From where?
Outside. Noise.
From where?
Twitter, radio.
Yeah. Oh, I'd give a rat's ass about Twitter. It's a platform for people that are sitting home drawing an unemployment check, sitting in front of a keyboard.
Couple things. He didn't just go. He went back to the twice, which I love. But I got to point something out, Jalen Rose. Why got to go at people with unemployment checks? You know what I mean? It's like, look, some people need unemployment checks to get by in between jobs or whatever. Come on, Mike Gundy. You can go after the Twitter people. But you don't got to go after the unemployed people.
Absolutely. And also, like, none of us are immune to criticism. It just comes with the territory. And just because you as a head coach are removed and you're going to dismiss and ignore that it happens, you shouldn't, because your players are living in the age where it's really prevalent. So I would think the goal should be to actually educate them on how to use it and how to block it out.
And you know what? You're onto something. You know what the right way to educate them is? Like, when you see someone criticizing you on Twitter, you should consider it, weigh it appropriately, take it into account, but your general attitude should probably be, I mean, that's really what it should be.
I was listening to him talk. I'm showing my age here, but he could sing the theme song of the Dukes of Hazzard. Just a good old boy.
He's got a little twang
Never
to him,
mean
too.
it no harm.
He's just so great. I would play for Mike Gundy. I love it. I love it. He rides for his guys. I'm a man, I'm 40. And also,
I'm a man.
Where's the criticism from? He kind of got the reporter, too. The reporter's just like, Twitter?
Right.
He's just like,
Right.
But then the reporter got what he wanted, a great sound.
I like he was going back and forth at it with the other coach.
Russell Westbrook is known for wearing great outfits and being fashion forward and sort of being an innovator and an influencer in the fashion world. So he did this fashion shoot with a German magazine that he probably didn't think would see us over here in America. But the backgrounds, the clothes, that Elvis kissing somebody on a shirt, that's just a kind of a fleece. Not mad at that one. But the robe with the basketball world, that look, Jalen, with the socks and no shoes, what is happening here?
4 things. 4 words.
What's that?
Keep getting them checks.
Yeah, you think so?
Whatever that was.
Like, Russell, you're going to wear these socks, you're going to match this shirt underneath your sweater vest? He's like, all right, whatever.
Sound like some clothing sponsor has some relationship with a magazine.
I mean, look at these.
They're going to get Russ to take the pictures for marketing and promotion. Keep getting them checks.
Do you have any of these glamour shot backgrounds in your past?
Draft day.
I mean, Jalen, I have some bad news.
Not bad meaning bad? Bad meaning good?
No, bad meaning bad. Oh. We got bamboozled.
Hoodwick?
We did.
Ran them up?
We did.
Led astray?
We did.
They told you they was bringing you to America and you didn't realize what they was going to have you do once you got here?
Nope. That's not what happened. They fooled us. They got us. And I got, and you know what? I just want to celebrate the people that got us. That wasn't Justin Bieber eating a burrito. That was a team of people concocting a scheme to make it look. They flew in a Justin Bieber lookalike to L.A. But here's what I want to say about this. It was a really smart ploy because they didn't say like, oh, we're going to have this Justin Bieber lookalike run naked down the street or have him assault somebody or have him set off a fake explosion somewhere. Like, they didn't go big with it. I saw a video and they had like the brainstorming session. Someone was like, what if we just had him eat a burrito like this, like it was a corn on the cob? And everyone's like, that would work. So they dressed him up. They put a wig on him. They took a picture of him eating a burrito. And then there it is, us talking about it on the show. Me eating a cold breakfast burrito on national television, being bamboozled.
They got you good.
Oh, I like how you say you. You saw the picture? You thought it was Justin?
Well, I didn't eat a burrito.
No.
Okay. So you took time and energy from your day to send texts and send emails to get a burrito.
Oh, yeah. Me and Harlan talked about it a lot.
Right? Put it in the rundown.
There's
the video.
Uber
got the
Eats
picture.
guy. Uber Eats guy had to come here. He was on a bicycle.
Hey, okay, you spent a lot
JC
of
had to get the burrito and bring it in. It was a team effort.
First off, if you haven't been paying attention to our program, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's looking a lot better. And I got to give JC, John Curtis, a big shout out. The lighting here is amazing.
Okay.
The pictures are A+.
Yeah, we got
like, you know how much I care about this.
In Los Angeles, we got 4, 5, 6 people working on it. This is great.
You know how important this is.
I think we got to step up our performance now.
Correct.
I feel like this pressure's on us now. There's more people involved.
Yes. Got the bat tilted now where it's a nice
Lisa
visual.
James is doing all this research last night.
Yes.
Shout out.
I got online clips. Kayla Johnson got me.
We got to be better, Jalen. Let's make a promise to each other to be better. I feel like there's more pressure on us now.
Let's work harder.
If we work harder, we'll be better naturally.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Maybe we shouldn't work harder. Maybe we should go the other way around. Can I tell you about Monster Jam?
No, that ain't the right voice.
Can I tell you about Monster Jam?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, we happen to get a voicemail about it. Let's listen to that.
Jalen and Jacoby, what up, though? This your boy B from Berkeley, California. Yo, shout out Reg. Shout out to the whole staff. Yo, I seen on IG Jacoby and Q at the Monster Truck Show. And Jacoby said, "Here's look what the Monster Truck driver looked like." So I was wondering, is it cultural or regional to be a monster truck driver? Because I never thought of the driver. I've always just thought of the truck as a character. So, yeah, cultural or regional. Keep getting those checks. Get the people what they want. I'm a person. 5,000.
5,000? That was my old Twitter handle. You don't hit me back in 5 minutes, I'm out.
Big shout.
5,000, G, EPMD, East Islip, Long Island, Stand Up, Eric and Parrish, DJ Scratch's family, Redman, Das Effects.
Big shout out to B from Berkeley.
Shout out.
Couple things. I kept my eye out for the crowd to determine whether or not attending Monster Jam was cultural or regional. Universal. I was impressed and I was happy to see it was a very diverse group of people watching those monster trucks. Reg, you weren't there. I was there, dog.
You lying.
I was there.
I
was there, Reggie.
Why you always lying?
What do you want? Okay, Reggie, I'm taking my ear out because he's talking too much in my ear. Okay. It was a diverse group of people attending Monster Jam. Not only that is, I can tell, but the B's question is a good one, is the monster truck drivers. They're trying to sell the drivers now, not just the trucks. You know, they do interviews with them and stuff, and they put their names up, and they put them on the Jumbotron. Now, they are not yet the most diverse group of people out there in the world, but they're making strides. They're making strides. And I would say that one of the most impressive performances was from El Toro Loco, driven by a young woman by the name of Kayla Blood, who Quincy was into because she dyed her hair purple. The Monster Jam experience was great. It was loud. You need ear protection. If anyone's going to Monster Jam, put earplugs on and then put headphones on top of your earplugs.
You're a great dad. I'm glad you guys got a chance to go and enjoy it.
He got sick, though. He went too hard.
Definitely cultural. I don't care what that crowd looked like. Okay? First and foremost. Second, the reason why I know, as soon as this topic came up, two people who happen to look like me as it relates to their race, Reggie and Kayla, immediately jumped into the microphone and was ready to give it to you.
I know. But the thing is, it's almost like the words that come out of my mouth, they're not believed or trusted by my own family here at Jalen and Jacoby.
Nope.
And then Reggie said, no pictures, no interviews. Doc, you want me to take out my phone and go up to a black person at Monster Jam and say, sir, are you a black person at Monster Jam? Because my friends that are also black won't believe a black person's here at Monster Jam. You think I'm going to do that?
Well, hold on, Jacoby.
You think I'm going to do that?
Hold on, Jacoby. Hold on.
Oh, no. Say what you're about to say. Say what you're about to say, Jalen. Go ahead.
I'm on Instagram now.
Uh-huh.
I follow you.
Uh-huh.
You Instagram the entire thing.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't see many black people.
All right, hit the brakes, Reg. Hit the brakes, Reg. So now you want me to put strangers I don't know on Instagram? That's what you want me to do, Mr. I'm not a zoo animal?
Jacoby, you put strangers on your IG all of the time, number one.
Yep.
Number two, this is really important. you didn't have to search for black people to be there if there was a lot of them there. What do you mean? What are you saying?
You know what? I was there. You weren't there.
I know I wasn't there.
You know what? It's
What,
2018.
many people that look like
we
me
live in
that
a
was there?
post-racial society. I was enjoying the performance of the trucks.
Hey,
I
man.
wasn't taking stats. All I'm saying was when I scanned the crowd, I was pleasantly surprised by the diversity of the group around me.
Let me tell you.
That's what I'm saying.
tell you.
Do you believe me when I say that?
Let me tell you.
Am I allowed to say I was pleasantly surprised? That's a statement about my own feeling that is a fact.
This voice right here is cultural. Monster Jam. Okay,
I think it's predominantly an experience for the Caucasians amongst us.
That's a meathead term overall. A lot of people that drink Bud Light, Coors Light, and Budweiser. Okay.
Budweiser is universal, by the way.
Also, it's the same people that drive race cars, really fast speeds, a lot of left turns.
Very different skill set.
The same people that are jockeys.
Jockeys is different. You just got to be tiny.
Okay.
A lot of Latinos.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
But my point still stands. What? You IG the entire thing, and I looked at it, and I can't front. I didn't see any people of color.
Dog, I didn't IG the crowd because you
did IG the crowd. You IG Monster Jam.
Jalen, you want me to just specifically do an IG of some nice black family just enjoying Monster Jam.
It wasn't no nice black families there.
Okay, I'm off this conversation. I'm off this conversation. In my immediate section alone,
I bet my life you didn't see a black family of 4 there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You know what? You're wrong. I saw a black family of 5. I saw a black family of 2. Saw a black family of 3. Saw a black family of 4. Jalen. You've never been to Bridgeport then?
I have been to Bridgeport.
It was in Bridgeport.
I remember, just so you know, 13 and under
I'm
AAU.
so upset with you right now.
We came to Connecticut, a team from Detroit. I'll never forget this. Mm-hmm. And we felt like we were some city kids, and we was going to talk that talk and walk that walk. And we ran up on the wrong people in Bridgeport. And before you know it, it was 50 of them chasing us out of the mall.
I'm telling you.
Okay? So I have a lot of respect for Bridgeport.
So you don't think there was
Manute Bowles' hometown.
So you don't think that there was a black family at Monster Jam in Bridgeport? Because you sound silly right now saying that.
I bet.
And not only that is you don't believe me.
Listen,
you think I'm speaking to this microphone and lie about it? You know what?
I guarantee you there was not a black family of 4 there. Not a black family of 4.
A lot of dads and their sons.
There are a lot of people listening to this program on the East Coast.
I took an elevator with a black family of 4. Not only that, 2 daughters.
No,
2 daughters.
No,
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I kept an eye out for this. There was a black mom that got her hair done for Monster Jam.
Monster Jam.
Why you always lying?
You know what? Do you know what upsets me? It upsets me.
Because you were the only one there.
Yeah. Like y'all have y'all just going off assumptions and what you think, what the reputation is. And I'm coming on to this microphone that I know this gets distributed to hundreds of thousands of people. And I'm saying I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually a more diverse event than I've expected. And you know what? You're taking the conversation. This is what's happening in 2018. You're taking the conversation away from what was important. The performance of the Toro Loco, the performance of the great Gravedigger team. And you're making it about race. Stick to sports, Jalen. Stick to sports. Great sports like Monster Jam. Politicizing everything. This is what's tearing our country apart, Jalen Rose. This.
I guarantee you Gronk went to Monster Jam growing up.
I feel like Gronk could probably pick up a monster truck and eat it for breakfast. I learned a lot about monster trucks. We bought the magazine that gives all the monster truck details because Quincy likes to learn things. I know about all the different tricks that they do. There was some impressive performances. Stone Crusher flipped over. And then they bring out this big like excavator thing with an arm that flips the truck back over again. It was exciting. Here's another thing though I didn't expect. A lot of ATVs. They sell you on the monster trucks. They give you the ATVs going around in circles. It was all right, but like, yo, I'm here for monster trucks, dog.
You gotta say it. You ain't saying it right. Where did you go again?
Monster Jam.
Cultural.
Big shout out to Monster Jam. Yeah. Definitely cultural. I'm not saying it was 50-50. I'm not saying it was reflective of a cross-section of our American society. I'm just saying I was pleasantly surprised by the diversity of the crowd.
You surprised 10% went. Got it. Okay.
Now you want me to put a number on it? Because you know what I don't do? I don't live my life like this. I don't live my life like what percentage of this room is a minority. I don't live my life like that. I just see souls. I just see human beings.
I know it was 90%.
I just see human beings. I just see human beings.
Anybody on the East Coast.
I just see human beings. 2018, dog. 2018.
Monster Jam.
2018.
And was a family of 4. Please prove me wrong.
Someone will.
Please.
Someone will.
Please.
Someone will. I saw some people that recognized me that didn't say anything. Those people were people of color. And they probably listen to this show.
How many people gave you dap about our show?
One dude.
See, that lets you know it wasn't no diversity. Because that don't reflect our show. That don't reflect the people that work on the show.
Do you know what should let you know it was diverse? Me telling you it's diverse. I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you right now. And you're not listening. It's like all these people around me, all these people in my ear, all of our producers, no one believes me. Now I'm like, you know what? It's the people that are closest to you. That's what it is. The people that are closest to you are the ones that snake you. That's what it is. I'm telling you this.
You on your Drake right now. You upset.
I thought I was just going to say one simple sentence because the Monster Jam is not about race and politics. Monster Jam is about appreciating the performance of the athletes.
You know what is about
the
race?
You know what?
Big trucks and big tires.
And then I thought I would just say one simple sentence, and then we can just move on and talk about the great performances that happened that evening between these athletes and their machine partners. But nope.
I know what I have to ask.
They call them athletes.
Yo, here's the other thing I have. Here's another thing that makes it more cultural. What kind of terrain were they driving these trucks on? Was it dirt?
Yeah, it's monster.
Oh no, we ain't getting dirty.
No.
There's about a handful.
Y'all expect me to go somewhere and be dirty 5 minutes once I get there?
There's a handful of drivers that look like you, and there's also a nice mix of female drivers as well. Shout out to the Monster Jam circuit.
Shout out.
The most important thing, the Q had an amazing time. That's all.
He was a little tired.
It's a lot, man.
I went to the 7 o'clock.
Him out of town?
I didn't know there was a 1 o'clock, so we had to take this long train ride.
Right.
And he loves the train, but we got after an hour. He was like, wait, was the next stop?
Yeah. You know our kids. Are we there yet?
Yeah, we were not there yet.
You're a great dad. That's the most important thing as well.
I'm upset with you guys. You don't trust me. You politicize everything. You know what I mean? Like this is not the right way to look at things. You guys are the problem. You guys are the problem.
No, Reg is right here.
Everybody is the problem with this. You know what? I was there and no one believes me. You don't believe the words that come out of my mouth? Then why do you continue to produce this program and why do you continue to be a co-host with me? If you think I'm just going to go on wax and lie all the time. I'm honest.
There's a lot of black people there working.
Okay. I just said this. I was pleasantly surprised.
Was there more black people there working or enjoying it?
Are you going to let me speak? Stephen, are you going to let me speak? I was pleasantly surprised with the diversity in the crowd. I didn't say it was 50-50. I didn't say it was represented a cross-section of our great society. I just said I was pleasantly surprised with the diversity in the crowd, and I got yelled at for 5 minutes by the people that are closest to me. That's what happened, okay? That's what happened to me. I'm done with this show. I'm not quitting forever, but I'm quitting for the next 23 hours. Okay?
That's fair.
So I'm not answering any of y'all texts or any of y'all emails.
That's fair.
For the next 23 hours.
Yeah.
And I'll be back tomorrow. Why, KRS?
Done. We're not done. We're not done.
Don't you dare play
They're my little guys. I love them.
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about LeBron James.